Good morning, sleeping giant. It's time to wake up. Today, I'm going to be talking about a part 2 of how to explain infinite life. Part of this conversation was inspired by a conversation that I had with my mother this morning. So, let's talk about it. To pick up where we left off, the song that talks about row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So the other half of what we spoke about last week when we talked about the actual physical nature of life in DNA, and I'm going to expand on that a little bit more too. We can also talk about the fact that life itself is just a stream of consciousness. Consciousness being those things that come into your awareness. And the reality is that sleep, a dream, it's a state of consciousness. To you, while you're in that dream, it's real. So that goes to show that what you are conscious of is what becomes real to you. So consciousness in life, we all experience a single consciousness as well as an individual consciousness, a collective consciousness as well as an individual consciousness. The collective consciousness is those things that we agree on to be reality. And I say that to say that all of these different things really, to me, express the oneness of life. So that it expresses that all things are connected and our consciousness are connected. The idea of individuality or separation from the whole is really somewhat of an illusion. But I'd like to speak a little bit more about how we are actually connected through the DNA, and how that is something that comes into play when we talk about infinite or eternal life. And the reality is that this is why God gave us math, geometry, why geometry, math, those things were very important in Egyptian civilization and culture, and continue to be throughout history and today, because really it's the only way that you can truly explain and picture, actually draw a physical picture or manifestation that would give you an explanation or understanding of infinity or eternity, and also how we as humans, people, work, and how we are connected to the divine, to the creator. Because part of the conversation that I had with my mother was that this whole life is infinite because it has two parts. It has the part that is constantly changing, that does not stay the same, which is nature. And things are always going through a cycle. But the part of that is God is the part that does stay the same. That no matter how many times the earth it cycles in its rotation, and it goes around the sun, every time you have a change in the seasons. That's God. That's law. That's order. That's what does not change. The fact that there are seasons is nature, because that is the infinitely and constantly changing nature of life. So how does that connect to, and how does that explain infinite and eternal life for humans? You explain infinite and eternal life for humans through talking about the change and the stationary part of life that does not change. By, you can look at a circle on a grid, on a graph, put it on some graph paper, and the way that people cycle through DNA and genetic information is more than likely just that way, where you place a circle on the graph, you plot points on that circle on that graph. Now, the reality is that each individual is a point in that circle on that graph. So if you cycle through each of those points on that circle, you will touch each and every person and their genetic makeup, the thing that makes them both physical as well as their personality, and those things that are not physical. Because the reality is that every person is made up of two people to come into that one person. And from those two people, you have a combination and a mixture of their traits, both physical traits as well as personality traits. That is what makes us all unique, but it is also what maintains and makes us all the same, because we all started out from one couple or one person, and we spread out. So those things that exist in each one of us, it does not leave the genetic pool. It does not leave the cycle and the rotation of genes. All it does is it becomes diluted. And once it becomes diluted, it expands to its furthest point, and then it becomes concentrated again. Now, this is where geometry and mathematics come in, because this is what the pharaohs were representing and showing when they made the pyramids. One point at the top, which spreads out, and then underground it forms an upside down pyramid. That part that cannot be seen, that is hidden, and that is the part where what makes you becomes diluted. But again, it all is a cycle. It has to again return back to that point. So you become concentrated into that same form once again through time. And time, when you are reborn physically into another time, it's almost like being born into another dimension, because you are you physically, but the time and the surroundings are different, because again, with nature, things are constantly changing just as much as they are staying the same. So that's how you explain infinite life when it comes to the geometric shapes. The circle shows you the cycle of life and how it rotates through different individuals. And the pyramid, or the diamond, because the pyramid is really just a three-dimensional diamond, shows you how all start out as one, and then through family they spread out, You can say they become diluted, and then through the genetic pool of their family and spreading out, and when it reaches its furthest point, it comes back again to form the southern tip of that diamond or that pyramid, which is you once again in a different time in space. That is how you explain infinite or eternal life. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. I'm coming with some Good Morning Sleeping Giant merch very soon, so keep an eye open for that. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.